Sauron is a man who can manipulate anyone. His method is the best method of manipulation because it's for the devil himself.
But Steve, I don't think anyone can manipulate me because I'm a smart girl.
You're wrong, Jessica. It's not about whether you're smart or not, because Sauron's method is really dangerous.
Exactly. Sauron's method is very dangerous because he offers to the victim an apple, and when the victim takes this apple, his life turns into hell. But if you can understand Sauron's method, you will be able to avoid being manipulated. And also, you will learn how to use this method to achieve your goals, but without harming anyone.
Sauron finds a method with which he can manipulate everyone. Every creature that has feelings, Sauron can manipulate him. He came up with the idea that emotions are what make people fight, love, and hate. So if you want to manipulate anyone, just make them feel good when they implement your ideas. Just let them feel that this thing is good and we should do it whatever the cost is, because it is our idea and we are the ones who chose this. This is literally what Sauron does to his victims.
Our work begins now.
What am I to call you?
I am your partner. No more. No less. A sharer of gifts.
So Sauron gives the victim an apple and convinces him that this apple is the freedom for all the bad feelings you feel, but in truth, it is the apple that will make him suffer. Sauron offers this apple to Celebrimbor, but before he offers the apple, he should know which apple Celebrimbor loves.
Let me explain how Sauron does this. The human being is made up of body and soul, so if you want to change the body, you should understand how the body works. And if you want to change the emotions, you should know how the emotions work. Sauron knows that dwarves are greedy, so he gives them a ring of greed. He also knew that Celebrimbor wanted to be a great elf, so he told him that the Valar have chosen you. So Celebrimbor loved that feeling of being the chosen one. Sauron used this technique every time. He said to himself, okay, this person does not feel confident most of the time, so I will give him an apple. This apple will make him feel confident, but I will put a small drop of poison in this apple. Apple by apple, this person will be under my control.
I think this story about the apple reminds me of a story that I heard when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's the story of Adam and the devil, the first manipulator in history. But just understanding the emotions involved in offering the apple is not enough. Because anyone with a clear mind would ask themselves, why would someone give me an apple for free?
I think if I had good control over my emotions, I would not have taken the apple because I don't trust anyone.
You're wrong, Jessica. Because Sauron does not give you the apple, he lets you think you have found it. He makes you think it was your idea. The human mind is always in a defensive mode, so Sauron instead fights that mind. He disguises himself as an angel and pretends to be a good person who only wants to help you. Then he starts sending hidden messages to the victim's mind. These messages are subconscious, making the victim believe that this is the normal situation. Instead, Sauron gives the idea to the victim. He makes the victim feel that this idea belongs to him. Then the victim says to himself, I should take the responsibility and I should make this idea come true because I don't have any other options.
Now I want you to listen carefully to this story to understand the concept of how does Sauron make them think it's their idea. Alfred. He is one of the best directors in America in the 90s. Many actors said that working with Alfred was tough because he did not talk much. But how can a director who does not talk much be successful? How could he communicate with the actors without talking? Quite simply, he sent secret messages to the actors and let them do what he wanted without talking to them. In 1935, on the first day of filming the movie The 39 Steps, the main actors Carol and Donat arrived. On this day, they had to play the most difficult role, which consisted of walking through a rural area in handcuffs. But Alfred never gave him any advice. Instead, Alfred handcuffed them, and after a few minutes, he told them that he had forgotten the handcuff key at home. He made them wait for hours for his return. So this plan makes the actors will not be able to go to the bathroom or move comfortably. After hours, he came back with the key. What's impressive is that the actors surprisingly nailed the scene. It's all due to Alfred's plan. He made them believe that he really forgot the keys and made them act freely until he returned. The actors adapted to the situation and lived the role before the acting even started.
This is exactly what Sauron does. He makes people believe that they are either forced to do this because fate has decreed it for them, or that it will make them stronger and freer. But all this is done through hidden messages so that the victim is convinced that it is his idea and not Sauron's.
But I have a question. What if I know at some point that this is all of Sauron's plan? How does Sauron act then?
Sauron knows that at some point his plan will reveal itself, so he always has a plan B. When he manipulates Celebrimbor, there is one idea in Sauron's mind. What if he finds out my plan? What's the way that I can make him do my plan, even if he knows about it?
So Sauron always has a plan B. In plan B, he plays with the victim's psyche. He gives him the feeling that everything is over, that he has already ruined everything, and he gives him the feeling of hopelessness. Then the victim says to himself, "Everything is over now. I have brought about this end." Then, after a little pressure from Sauron on the victim, who has no will, the victim carries out all of Sauron's plans. And that's exactly what Sauron did to Celebrimbor. He manipulated Celebrimbor's surroundings. At first, everyone thought Celebrimbor was crazy. Sauron did this after lying with stupid and false plans, saying that Celebrimbor was the one who set this plan. Then the warriors gradually began to lose their trust in Celebrimbor, and then Sauron began to make the warriors trust him. All the warriors began to lose hope, but at the same time, they saw in Sauron the only hope of salvation from the crisis they were in. Sauron even took advantage of Celebrimbor's right hand and gradually made her fall in love with him. In general, Sauron poisoned the minds of all of Celebrimbor's followers. Sauron's plan B was that even if Celebrimbor uncovered my plan, in the meantime, everyone would lose confidence in him. Then he would be very disappointed because of that, and then he would do what I wanted after a little threat and pressure.
So as we said, Sauron works with emotions, and the only way to force the victim to carry out his plans is to make the victim feel that he is weak-willed and that it's all over. Then all he has to do is apply a little pressure, and his plan B will succeed. These are Sauron's methods of manipulating people. The dangerous thing about these methods is that it is very difficult to recognize that you are being manipulated. The scary thing is that organizations and individuals working in secret are using these methods on us too, but most people do not know it.
I do not want to go into too much detail about whether there really are people who control the world and shape it according to their will. But there is something that is played with us every day. And we know that we are being manipulated, but we do nothing about it. You have this thing in your hand right now. It's your phone. When we were young, our parents always warned us about the phone, but we always told ourselves it was just bullshit. But now, we have become slaves to our phones. We cannot accomplish anything in life because the dopamine comes from the phone. And even though we know it's something dangerous and affects our lives, we accept the painful reality. And that's the same thing Sauron did after he found out Celebrimbor was manipulating him. But he continued to carry out Sauron's plans because he had lost hope in the possibility of change.
Do you know what the funny thing is, Ben? Even our parents, who used to warn us about phones, have now become slaves to them like us.
Don't lose hope, Jessica, because in the end, Celebrimbor has found a way to get out of Sauron's manipulation. To get out of the manipulation circle, we should know what sign every manipulator leaves. As we know, nothing is perfect in this universe. So there must be a sign that if we focus on it, we will know we are being manipulated. The first sign: your life is about the circle. Like your phone, it will make you live the same day and the same routine because it will separate you from reality. It will make you live in a virtual world. You will not be able to produce or do anything different. It will keep you living in a circle of bad habit. The second thing is that the people around you will seem to sense that you are changing, but in a bad way. People close to you will notice that you have become more nervous and negative, and you will feel that you are always right. So the only solution to get out of this manipulation is to start focusing on your feelings whenever you feel angry or feel that you no longer have control over your actions. You have become a slave to your thoughts and desires, so you have to stop at that moment and tell yourself that there is something wrong here. After you figure out what the apple that was manipulating you is, you need to do something that requires a great sacrifice, which is to destroy that apple forever. For example, if you're sure that you are addicted to your phone and that it is destroying your life, simply delete all social media apps from your phone and even turn off the internet. Only let your phone receive calls and send messages.
But there are many useful things in the phone that we need. For example, I have benefited a lot from this video, and if I disconnect the internet from my phone, I will not be able to watch wonderful videos like this video.
I didn't say that everyone should disconnect the internet from their phone, just that people who are addicted to the internet should ban it from their lives for a period of time until they can regain control of their lives.
And that's exactly what Celebrimbor did. He gave up his finger to hide the rings from Sauron. It's very difficult, almost impossible, to free yourself from the manipulator's curse unless you sacrifice your finger. Maybe you do not believe me now and tell yourself that he's full of shit. But to prove to you that Sauron's way of manipulation is the best and always works, and I know you will be a little shocked. Why? Because I used the same method on you. I manipulated you from the beginning and made you watch the video to the end. I used Sauron's method, but in a good way. There is no good or evil. Everything falls into the gray area, and the way you use this thing makes it either good or evil. And I have applied it to you from the beginning to make you understand Sauron's way, and I am giving you an apple, but a good one, not a bad one.